Jan Gustafson Correa with the California Association for Bilingual Education. And on behalf of CABE and our alliance partners, we invite you to join us in a vision of a multilingual California. We know that language and culture make a difference, and through Multilingual California, we will honor our students as they grow to academic success, not only in English, but in other languages as well.
My name is Dr. Alma Castro. I am the director for the Multilingual California Project Grant. MCAP is a 3-year grant awarded to CABE and its partners through the CDE Educator Workforce Investment Grant. The MCAP Alliance includes CABE and 5 county offices of education in Butte, Fresno, San Bernardino, Orange, San Diego, and San Diego State University. The goals of MCAP grant are to provide high-quality professional learning opportunities for teachers, administrators, paraprofessionals, and for families across the state for implementing the English Learner Roadmap policy.
During this MCAP grant, our 5 partner counties were connected through the collaboration of MCAP leads at each county office of education. Holly Harding at Butte County Office of Education. Lisa Clark at Fresno County Superintendent of Schools. Angelica Hurtado at San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. Dr. Nicole Chavez at Orange County Department of Education, and Isela Jacobo at San Diego County Office of Education.
Liberatory design comes from a partnership from Stanford's Design School and the National Equity Project. This is really a powerful tool for just grounding your work every day because it reminds us about what's really important. Our North Star is to improve outcomes for our students, and these are mindsets that really help us to do that. Our system, our educational system, has not always valued multilingual education. We know that making decisions in status quo ways produces status quo outcomes, and making decisions in equitable ways moves us towards equitable outcomes. And that liberatory design, the tool that we've been using, is about being equitable in how we make decisions.
All of you are change makers. Through the English Learner Roadmap policy, you are helping to build school leaders' capacity and implement culturally and linguistically responsive practices. And no one can do this work without a network of support. And through the work with MCAP, you are all making a difference in the lives of our multilingual students. And I thank you for your dedication.
We know and recognize the importance of multilingualism in achieving in a global society. This grant has provided us and our districts valuable resources to our teachers, our parents, our paraprofessionals to align our instruction to the English Learner Roadmap. It's so important to us, and we're so proud of our students who find their voice in all of this work and their confidence in their work. Thank you again for being here today and caring so deeply and passionately for all of our English learners in all of our schools across the state.
We have really seen tremendous positive results. Through the MCAP, our county office has promoted the Seal of Biliteracy, and it's wonderful to see the recognition and acknowledge the students that are receiving their Seal of Biliteracy. MCAP innovations have provided access and opportunities for our classroom teachers to expand their knowledge and add to their school's vision. Well, thanks to the academies, our educators have obtained badges in areas of interest. The MCAP has also expanded opportunities for our county office to collaborate with other county offices to help implement the California EL roadmap. And I can tell you from my interaction with superintendents, I just see tremendous commitment from our leadership to support the districts that they serve. Best wishes as we move forward to do this very important transformative work.
OCDE strives to ensure that all students are known and valued, that we know their names, stories, histories, aspirations, and fears. These goals are evident in the MCAP work. When we consider being college, career, and civically prepared, we recognize that when we design and with culture and language in mind, we better prepare our learners for this future. We appreciate those of you who are using OCD's Project GLAD innovations, and thank you to all the educators who are participating and joining the efforts to increase knowledge and responsive practices to our multilingual learners throughout innovations that you have all chosen.
You know, in San Diego County, we made a point of honoring culture and language since they're so inextricably linked. We have over 130 multilingual and dual immersion programs. Proud to have 18 federally recognized tribes. You know, the MCAP does a lot around capacity. There is not a computer program that's going to change the lives of our children. We've seen the most change in student achievement happens to be through investing in social and human capital. So I just want to thank you again for your work and the ability for us to have the resources to continue to train our folks. Deep love and appreciation to all of you for that.
In 1980, this is going back a ways, I was asked to write a policy paper for the Federal Department of Education about what the position should be on the education of what at that time were limited English-speaking students. And so I went through all of the research that we had nationally, and it was a mess. Had weak statistical methods, wasn't even clear if they were comparing the same programs. So the default position was to go back to English only. Through the 1980s and the 1990s, we had a decreasing interest in bilingual education nationally, at the national level. In the 1980s, California was the leader for the nation. But along came Proposition 227 in the 1990s and shut it all down. Bilingual education got blamed for the fact that English learners weren't excelling. And even though fewer than 30% of our English learners actually got a bilingual education. This, of course, was daunting for all of us who had been working in this area and knew the advantages of bilingual education. But the good news is that during this long drought that we have been in, important research was going on. And the new research was looking at long-term outcomes with more careful samples. We were looking over time what happened when students were truly in a bilingual program. And so when we got to 2016 and the rollback in Prop 227, we were armed with the research. What you are doing now is putting California back in the lead for the nation. I really see this work as having a powerful impact and a national view about multilingual education. And I really salute you. This is just a wonderful, wonderful day.
I'm a little bit jealous. I wish we had something like this going on in Colorado, but I congratulate all of you on the work you're doing. California is the most multilingual, multicultural state in the entire United States. Now, so I'm going to say this about immediate messages. Now's not the time for us to back off of dual language instruction. It is not in our national ethos yet. We think about bilingualism as an asset, but we don't put plans in place. How wonderful that you all are doing this. We know what you did when the pandemic hit. Our teachers are assets. What I see are policymakers who are intent on building bigger and better tests to tell us how far behind our kids have gotten. And they are especially focused on poor children, children of color, and English language learners.
Obviously, in many respects, we're in a much more positive period at this point in recognizing the linguistic resources that children bring to school. And a lot of that change comes right back to CABE and the work that you've done tirelessly. I have a huge amount of respect for the way educators across the state have risen to the challenge and how they're coping and helping their students cope with challenging times. The message that I want to share, it focuses on the systems that we set up in our schools to address the learning needs of multilingual students. We all are aware that many students who are learning English as an additional language experience difficulties in their schools. But they aren't the only group. We know from studies all over the world that students who are growing up in poverty, who don't have the privileges of their more affluent peers, often struggle academically. And this is a systematic pattern that characterizes virtually every education system around the world. We also have students who have experienced and are experiencing the effects of racism and various kinds of discrimination in our society. So in addition to looking at what the research is saying about helping students acquire English and catch up academically in English, we also have to ask ourselves as a school community, how can we push back on some of the effects of low socioeconomic status? How can we, as a school community, counteract some of the effects of stereotypes and discrimination in the wider society? We need to focus on decolonizing curriculum and instruction through linguistically and culturally sustaining pedagogy. We need to valorize and build on the linguistic varieties that students bring to school. When we talk about, when we look at all of the systems that we have in our schools, we're working not just to help students learn English, we're working to help students overcome the effects of poverty and the effects of racism and other forms of discrimination.
Here's our overarching points about dual language. It's the mainstream. It's no longer a separate, segregated program only for English learners. Dual language is for everybody. English learners is for students from diverse heritages who are not English learners, and it's for native English speakers. And we're finding in our data that it's amazing how well students in poverty and students with even special needs do in dual language. All these groups outperform comparable groups not in dual language by a huge amount.
Okay, here's my favorite. Why are dual language programs so powerful? They are. They're the most powerful programs in terms of statistical effect size that I personally have seen in 40 years or more of being a professional evaluator. Why is that? The answer is there are two main effects. That's the green arrows in the middle: increased cognitive stimulation from the use of two languages and increased student engagement. And those two main effects by themselves produce short-term achievement gains. But, and this is unique to dual language programs, these two main effects feed back. This is a positive feedback loop. These two main effects feed back and cause improved student motivation, fewer disciplinary referrals, higher student self-esteem and confidence, and better school attendance. And what do all those things do? They improve the main effects, thus making short-term achievement gains even larger in the long term. That's how it works. And to as far as I know and have been able to tell, dual language programs well implemented are the only programs that do this for native English speakers as well as for English learners.
So go for it. MCAP folks, Kaveh, you can do it, and we are cheering you on.
I hardly need to tell you how important your work is to the many linguistically diverse students in the state's schools. If past experience is anything to go by, English will gradually replace the languages of the home for many of these students as they learn English. You and I see the tremendous potential in a multilingual California. Children have no such lofty expectations. They want to be like everyone else, and it is easy to believe everyone speaks English. So, as they learn English, they use it, not only at school, but at home too. And gradually it replaces, cancels the language of the home far too often. This, as we know, is hardly inevitable. Humans can learn and maintain as many languages as they find useful. Bilingual and dual language programs will protect the children who are fortunate enough to be in such programs. I'd like to suggest that parents, families, and communities are critical components. The school needs to engage parents and community members in discussions to ensure that the children not just retain, but continue developing their primary languages and cultural resources as they mature. If the school is able to see what they bring as assets, if it values them and provides them the instructional support they need, everything will be copacetic.
And really exciting, as part of this Multilingual California project, we are partnered with SDSU in two very wonderful projects. One of the projects is the Global Seal of Biliteracy. The second project is bilingual teacher preparation. How do we strengthen our bilingual teacher preparation across the state through this MCAP project? The Multilingual California project is providing free statewide asynchronous digital academies in the areas of biliteracy and English learner support for teachers, paraeducators, and administrators. Register today for free and join a statewide network of dedicated educators to achieve the California vision of success for multilingual learners. We invite you to visit our webpage at multilingualcalifornia.org and follow us on social media platforms. Together, we will continue to celebrate the assets of our multilingual treasures.
Let's come together and create a multilingual California.